Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to the webinar today. Today's webinar is the last webinar of the month. It is our final one in our 9-part series on BNI Connect that we do every month. This one is part 4 of a leadership team series of webinars, and today we're going to talk about the online renewal process. A couple of years ago, we launched the ability to be able to do a renewal application within BNI Connect, so it's all done electronically. Everything from filling out the paper, through the payment, through the approval of it, it's all done right there in BNI Connect. It does mean that there are some minor changes to the paper process if you've been using the paper process, but it does allow for a much smoother experience, especially for anybody that's ever filled out or bought anything online. It's pretty intuitive for them to use this. So we're going to step through that process from 2 different perspectives. We're going to go from a member perspective. What does this look like to a member? How do they go through the renewal? How do they fill it out? How do they access it? Where do they access it? All of that. Then we're going to switch gears. We're going to put a different hat on, and we're going to look at it from the leadership team perspective. What does the, for example, vice president have to do now? And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens along the way. So before we get started with that, a couple of quick housekeeping things. Firstly, this is a live webinar, at least if you're with me here today, January 26th, 2017. You are participating in a live presentation. That means it's also interactive. A couple of things. You can download the PowerPoint that I have here. It is in the handouts section. It also means that as we're going through things, if you have any questions at all, please ask those questions. All you need to do is type your question into the questions panel. I'll see that pop up on my screen, and we can review that and can give you the answer right here. The other thing is that we do record all of these webinars. So there's a possibility that you're listening to this as a recording. You probably found it on our support site, support.bniconnect.com, in the resources section or in the live and recorded webinars section. Or you may have found it on YouTube, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global is our channel. If you're listening to this as a recording, feel free to email us your questions, support@bniconnect.com. Again, support@bniconnect.com. We are always happy to help. So without further ado, let's take a look at the online renewals and see what this is all about. Now, the renewal process, whether it's done on paper or via the online system, is pretty much the same process, right? The member completes a renewal application. The renewal then needs to be reviewed by the membership committee, and it has to be approved. And then finally, the renewal makes its way to the regional office where they confirm the payment. The process is the same electronically and on paper. So how does this work then with the online renewals? So let's take a look at this, as I said, from a member perspective. What does this look like to the member? So there are a number of different opportunities that a member has to start the online renewal process. There's actually 5 of them altogether. The first way is that a member gets a reminder. Typically, this is sent 60 days before they're up for renewal. 60 days before they're up for renewal, they get an email saying, hey, by the way, you're due for renewal on, let's say, March 1st, 2017. Would you like to start that renewal process right now? And in the email, there's a link that will bring them to the renewal. Easy as pie. Second one is that they can click on the regional website. So a lot of regional websites, they put a big button right on the website. For example, I'm in Rhode Island. Our bniri.com site has a button on it that says Renew Now. They click that button. They have to log into BNI Connect, and it takes them to the renewal screen. The third way is if they are logged into BNI Connect. Right there on the home screen, there's a link that says Renew Now. It also shows them when their renewal date is. The fourth way is that there is a button if they're in editing their profile. On the first page of their profile, it has a Renew Now link there as well. And the fifth way is that if your leadership team, they get a reminder approximately 90 days out on the 21st of every month. If they pre-approve a member, it will send an email to them saying, hey, congratulations, you've just been pre-approved. Would you like to renew now? So 5 opportunities there for a member to participate in the renewal process online. This is just a sample, what the email looks like, or may look like, depending on what version of the email. But you can see here it has a Renew Now link there. It then also says, Renew Now, click here. No matter where they click, it brings them to the same place, to the renewal application. This is just a sample. A lot of times the regions will put the Renew Now button on the left-hand column. This is just a couple of examples. This is what the BNI Minnesota Renew Now button looks like. This is what the Heartland button looks like. This is what the Arizona button looks like. You know, again, can look like anything. It just will all bring you to the same place. And now, why don't we actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as a member and show you what the renewal process looks like. So here we have this to sign into BNI Connect. I'm going to log in as one of my test members out there. My good friend Marky Mark from the Funky Bunch. He is a member of BNI in Antarctica. Oh, hold on a second. It's not Marky Marky, it's Marky Mark. There we go. It always helps if I type the right username in. So Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, he got a notice that he's up for renewal. And as we can see here on his renewal date, he is due for renewal on February 1st. So he's got officially 5 days to renew before he's going to be charged a late fee. He decides he's going to go in now and process that renewal. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Renew Now button. And it will bring up a renewal application. Now keep in mind that this is Antarctica. Our fees are considerably lower there, just don't have a great economy. The fees in your area may differ slightly. So depending on what area of BNI that you're in. Here it's $3 in the Great Antarctic. I can choose whether I want to do a 1-year membership or a 2-year membership. And you can see that the fees changed. There is a discount on the 2nd year here. I'm going to go ahead and submit a 2-year renewal. The next thing is we do have to answer a bunch of questions. And once again, the questions may vary depending on your country that you participate in. Yes, I'd like to continue. Have my license been revoked? No. Am I willing to make the commitment? Yes. Have I joined any other networking organizations? Yes. We joined the Antarctic Chamber of Commerce. Am I prepared to invite? Yes. Do I belong to other referral groups? No. Have I ever been convicted? No. And then what leadership team positions would I like to be considered for? I think I'd like to be the president. So after we've done those questions, we can then check and update our member details if we want to. That's optional. If I click this plus sign, this gives us the opportunity to look at or request a change to any of these details. Now, some of this stuff like your address, you can actually edit that anytime you want to on your profile. The things that you normally don't have access to edit, though, are your name, your company name, your profession, your specialty, and your product description. This is your opportunity to submit the application with a, let's say, a change of profession. So if you do change any of these details with a big red asterisk or big red pound sign next to it, hashtag, that does need to be further reviewed. You may not, they may not accept that, or they might. So I may be switching from architectural interior design to just a plain architect. Maybe I got my architectural license. So fully licensed architect, right? Now, if I make those changes, again, my leadership team will be notified that I have made category changes as well. After I'm done with those, I can accept the BNI general policies. If I'd like to view those, I can click that hyperlink. Once I've completed my application, I proceed to payment. Depending on your area, you'll have different options for payment, whether it's by credit card, whether it's by check, whether it's by some other method. In Antarctica, we only accept checks, and here are the instructions. If paying by check, you can hand deliver it. You can give it to Steve. Your region will have their own instructions for you. After that, I click Submit, and that's it. From a member perspective, that's all there is to it. And I pretty much drag that out because I'm talking about it while I'm doing it. Most of the time for a member, this takes all of about 45 seconds to complete their renewal application. That's a lot better than the paper process. The other nice thing about this from a leadership perspective and from a regional perspective is that it's a lot easier to chase somebody to finish an online application than it is to chase them down with a piece of paper. With that carbon copy piece of paper, you have to wait until the chapter meeting in order to hand that piece of paper over, or you have to bring it over to their office or get them to come pick it up. With this electronic application, all you have to do is say, hey Marky, how come you haven't submitted your application yet? Do me a favor, go online and do that right now. They go online, they do it, 1 minute later, it's completed. So a lot easier to do. All right, so as a review, from a member perspective, they enter the application, they choose their payment method, and there are a number of notifications that are sent out. So that the leadership team now gets notified saying that an application has been put in. Please go and review that and approve it. And the member gets a copy of their application, and if they paid by credit card, they're going to get a copy of their credit card receipt. So it's all right there. So that wraps up the member side. So what I'd like you guys to do is to take off your member hat. We're now going to reboot and come back and look at this as a leadership team. Specifically, somebody, the vice president and or the membership committee, because they're really the ones that are taking the next step in this process. So some things that you need to know. An online renewal must be approved online. So before it can be finalized, before any progress can be made on it, you must go online and approve this. Now, the approval process is not a voting process online. You should have a membership committee meeting like you would to review any other membership. I'm on the membership committee of my chapter. We had our membership committee meeting this morning about some people that were up for renewal. After that has happened, our vice president then goes in and they approve, they basically render our membership committee decision. Again, we are not registering a vote online. We are just rendering the final decision. Now, that said, you can register a full approval, a conditional approval, or you can deny a renewal as well. There's two different types of approvals. There's pre-approvals and post-approvals. So you can pre-approve a member before they've even submitted an application. So let's say that, especially with if there's a price increase or something like that, and a bunch of people are going to be renewing, you can pre-approve anybody that you'd like to for that renewal before they've submitted an application. Basically saying, hey, you know what, when you come up for renewal, we know we're going to approve you, so it's already done. Or you can do a post-approval, meaning after they've submitted their application, then you approve them. So it's either a proactive or a reactive approval. And from a region perspective, for any regional administrators or executive directors we have on the line, you aren't able to proceed to the reconciliation phase until that approval has been done and the payment has been registered. So the pre-approval process. Two different ways that happens. Either when you get the email saying, hey, you have these people due for renewal, there is a list of all of the people that are up for renewal with a link to go in and pre-approve them. Or if you want to, you can go into BNI Connect and go to the membership dues report and click on the renewals. So let me just show you. So this is my I'm on the membership committee, as I said. We got a renewal notification in email that goes out on the 21st of every month. And this shows a list of everybody that's due for renewal in the next 90 days. So all the people that are due for renewal in February, March, and April. What their name is, their email address, and a link here to pre-approve them. So I can go ahead and click this button. It would bring me to the pre-approval page if I have permission to do so. Or let me go ahead, let me go back to BNI Connect here real quick. I'm going to log out as Marky Mark. And I'm going to log in as my vice president of the Burr chapter in Antarctica. And that person is Adam Sandler. So Adam Sandler is the vice president. Let's log in as him. And let me try that again. Oh, no, it's not letting me log in. I'll tell you what, let me just log in as me because I have the power to do this. So let's say that the vice president is logging in here. The other way to do this is, again, to go to the membership dues report. So if I go to the membership dues report, this will list all of the members that are up for renewal. And you can see here that there is a link to pre-approve them. Now you'll notice that Marky Mark has already submitted his application, so I can't pre-approve this member, but I could pre-approve anybody else. So let's say we have another person. Becky is up for renewal on February 1st, but hasn't submitted an application yet. I can go in and click this pre-approve button. Oh, and it looks like I pre-approved her on the last webinar. Whoops. Sorry about that. Let me try Jamie Jones. And here we can review Jamie's information, so I could see his last 6 months of performance. You can see that he's been present 11 times, hasn't been absent. He hasn't passed any referrals, but he received 3 referrals. I can click this button to go see the training details, see if he's been to any recent trainings. He hasn't been to any trainings lately. I can also see if he's filled out his profile. He hasn't even filled out his profile, hasn't filled out his bio. You know, we can make a decision based on some of these things that we're looking at. But you know what? We're going to give Jamie a second chance. So we're going to click. I can also choose whether we're going to approve them with conditions and whether an accountability letter has been sent. Now, keep in mind, these are just recording the action. We are not actually enforcing a probation through BNI Connect. We're just noting on the record that you are renewing this person with probationary terms. We also aren't sending accountability letters out. We're just recording that you did send accountability letters out. But I can go ahead and do this and pre-approve. And as I said earlier, Jamie will then get an email saying, congratulations, your membership committee loves you. They would like you to renew now. They have pre-approved you for your upcoming renewal. It'll give them a link to go ahead and run that pre-approval if they would like to. All right, so that is the pre-approval process. Again, that's done through the membership dues report. All right, going back to the PowerPoint here. As I mentioned, there's also a post-approval, meaning after the person has gone ahead and put in their application. So this happens, again, you get an email on the membership committee saying, hey, Marky Mark just submitted their renewal. Would you like to go in and approve this now? You click the link and it brings you to that approval screen. The other way to do that is that on the pending applications screen, you can go in and then also do the approval from there. So let me show you that real quick. Going back into BNI Connect. Now the pending applications is under the Manage Membership. So for this we have to go over the Operations menu. And under Manage Memberships, we have View Pending Applications. And under the View Pending Applications, we can see all of the pending applications for the chapter. So this would include new applications that haven't been processed yet, as well as any renewal applications. I can see here that Marky Mark paid by check for a renewal on the 26th. I can click on the word renewal or click on the word submitted or click on the arrow here. And this brings me in. Now this is pretty much the same screen as the pre-approval screen, but you'll notice a couple of minor differences. First of all is that there's a PDF attached to this. So if I click the PDF, this will allow me to download a copy of his application. I can see how he answered questions, whether he did a 1-year or a 2-year membership. I can print out a copy of this if I want to. I can save it for our chapter records, or it will always just be a part of their membership record in BNI Connect. The other thing it does say is that in their renewal application, the member has made some changes. So I can see, again, that the member did make changes. They now are applying here as an architect, a fully licensed architect. Once again, I can review their stats. I can go back and look at their training details. I can also go ahead and approve or decline them. I do have to certify that we have had our membership committee meetings. Again, I can check those other options off, approve or decline. A couple of things to keep in mind. If you decline the person, it does not kick them out of BNI, okay? I want to make that very clear. All you're doing is declining that renewal application, because there could be cases where, let's say that, they're submitting changes with that application. So they're changing professions, and you actually want to decline that particular change even though you would accept them under a different profession. That is a distinct possibility. But either way, they have the opportunity to utilize the rest of their membership, whether that's 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. Even if you decline their renewal, they can continue to come to meetings. It also does not notify them. So it will notify your team that has happened. It will notify your director, but it does not notify the member that you've declined them. That has to be done with the membership accountability letter. So that part of the process is not automated via email. You do have to let them know via membership committee that you have declined their renewal. That said, I love Marky Mark, so I'm going to go ahead and approve him. And the process is now complete. That's it. That's all there is to it. We are done with the renewal process. So now I know I've managed to drag that process out for 24 minutes. However, in reality, this whole process takes about a minute for the member. Aside from the membership committee meeting, which is going to take however long it's going to take and has always taken that long, it takes about another 30 seconds for the vice president to go in and render those decisions. That's it. A minute and a half. And again, that's much, much easier than chasing down the paper and getting signatures and all of that other stuff that has to happen with the paper process. All right, so just to review real quick, the approval process, they still have to make a review. You have to have a membership committee meeting and talk about that member's performance. You absolutely then need to go in and one person, usually it's the vice president, though it could be a representative of the membership committee, go in and records the decision. And then finally, the region is going to do what they've always done. They're going to review the payment, make sure that the payment has happened, and then reconcile that transaction. Now, there are a bunch of emails that go out during this process. There's the renewal notification. There's the that opt-out email. So when a member gets that renewal notification, they can say, you know what, I don't want to renew right now, and they can click an opt-out button. Once again, just like the deny, it doesn't kick them out of BNI. It just registers and sends an email notification saying that they don't want to renew right now. There can be many cases when they know they're going on maternity leave, or they know they're going to be changing jobs in a couple of months, or whatever else it might be that they may not want to renew right now. During the online renewal process, there's copies of the invoice and the application that go out. There's also notifications to various people. And then following the online renewal, there's even more notifications that go out. So if you're wondering which notifications you get, take a look at this chart right here, and this will show you all of the different notifications per position. Now, if you'd like a copy of this PowerPoint, I am happy to share it with you. One of two ways. Number one, click on the downloads link right here in the handouts section. You can get this file and have it for yourself. If you are listening to this in a recording, or if you forget, you want it later on, whatever it might be, email support@bniconnect.com and just say, please, can you send me the PowerPoint for the online renewal process? And I'd be happy to share that with you. All right, so we are at the bottom of the hour. I did manage to extract what essentially is a 1.5-minute process into 30 of them. But what I'd like to do is to open this up for any questions. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, compliments, I would love to hear all of them. Just type them into the questions panel and I will be able to see them pop up on my screen. If you don't have any questions, I'm just going to say thank you guys so very much for being here with me today, spending some time learning about the online renewal process. A good referral for me is we are going to do this whole series of webinars again in February, again in March, again in April. Please check your regional event calendars. I'm in the process of, we have a whole bunch of leadership team trainings coming up and conferences and stuff, so I'm in the process of making that schedule now. It should be up probably by the end of day tomorrow. So a good referral for me is check your event calendars and recommend these. So we have a question from Elgin. Elgin, I believe you're from BNI Miami, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? So just a quick thing. Elaine, as soon as I close out of this webinar, I'm going to lose your email address. Can you please do me a favor? Email me support@bniconnect.com and I will gladly send you the slides. But as soon as I close out of this webinar, that screen's going to disappear and I'm going to lose your email address. So if you don't mind emailing me, I will respond to you with the PowerPoint. Or just click on the handouts section and just download it right now. It's sitting in the handouts. All right. But to go back, Elgin, you guys have a very unique situation in Miami, but the short answer is no. You won't have to post the payments because what's going to happen is the member puts their credit card in immediately into, as they're doing the online application, they go to the payment screen, they're going to put their credit card in themselves. And what's going to happen is that's going to go right into the regional office's merchant account. So from a secretary-treasurer standpoint, this process just got so much easier because you don't even have to chase down the payment. So, and as far as alternate payment methods, for that part of it, that's going to be a discussion that you're going to have with Jeff. Jeff Stay, because I have a feeling that they're only going to accept credit card payments for the online process. So, but again, if you have online renewals, it's going to be, pretty much a straight shot for the secretary treasurers. Yes, it is going to make it so easy for you. So much easier. It's going to take the job of renewals right out of your hands. So you'll just have to worry about new applications at that point. All right. Elaine says, I'm in Sunny Isles. How do we get the bottom to the renew button? So if you don't have the renew button yet, it means that your region, what region are you in, Elaine? Are you in Miami as well? But you're in Miami as well. So basically in Miami, we haven't turned it on yet. So we're waiting to make sure that, just like you guys, we need to make sure all of the secretary treasurers and all of the vice presidents are trained on this process so that we can turn the switch and flip it on. Again, as easy as the process is, it is a change from what has been done traditionally. So we have to make sure that, I can't turn it on for, let's say just, the Crusaders chapter, or just the, Miami Beach chapter, or just, it goes on for the whole area. So we have to make sure that all 30 or so chapters are in sync. All right, do we have any other questions? Again, I love questions. I could do this all day. As a matter of fact, I do this all day. So this is what I do all day, every day, answer questions about BNI Connect. So always happy to answer those questions live as well. So Elaine, when do you expect to turn that on for BNI Miami? Again, that's going to be up to the regional office. So worst case scenario, it will be after LT and me in March. So either way, not too far. All right, so if we have no other questions, I'm just going to say thank you guys for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to learn a little bit more about BNI Connect. Again, please refer your chapter members to these webinars. We do a whole series on all sorts of things in BNI Connect: how to fill out your profile, how to pass referrals, how to use the bigger database, how to find people in BNI around the world, how to do the tools and reports, and how to invite visitors, all of that here with BNI Connect. So look forward to doing this series again next month and seeing some of you on these webinars. In the meantime, have an absolutely wonderful rest of the week and a nice weekend, and happy connecting.